What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Lesser Athletes. My name is Chadwell, and today, like always, another interesting video for you here on the channel. Who will Randy Orton face at WrestleMania 41? My oh my. Let me just first say, moment of silence for Kevin Owens. That's enough because you were a heel at the time, but let's be honest here. Kevin Owens, man, I am depressed about this neck surgery, man. I really am, because I don't think this will be the end of Kevin Owens' career. I really don't. But I have to say, Kevin Owens was the backbone of this company for a while, and I think is a very underrated superstar in WWE. I'm going to be honest. I think he deserved another title run. It was so stupid they gave the Goldberg thing. It's just insane. And so I was really expecting Kevin Owens to lose here, have a hiatus, whatever. And then, Kevin Owens hopefully getting a run in the future with a title to really go crazy. That's what I was wanting. That's what I was expecting. Nope. It's not going to happen, which sucks. But now it brings the question, who will Randy Orton face at WrestleMania 41? Is there going to be nobody? I don't think that's the case. Is it going to be the Andre the Giant Memorial? I don't think that's the case. Who does he go against? There is so much they can do, in my opinion, but it's just off of certain factors. And I'm going to keep going back to certain factors and keep talking about what they could do, what they won't do, whatever. Listen, I have some crazy theories, but I'm going to explain why each can't and each can. So let's get started with the one that I'm just going to nip in the bud immediately. It's not going to happen. And that is Cody Rhodes versus John Cena versus Randy Orton, or even him being a special guest referee. Listen, Cody versus John Cena is personal. You can't just throw in Randy Orton 2 weeks before WrestleMania and just say, you know what? Makes sense. Don't think so. Can't do it. I just don't think that it's needed. Doesn't make sense. Special guest referee, I could kind of see it, but here's the thing. You could go a route with Randy saying, oh, I'm going to referee this because everyone else is scared about how this will go. And then you have, it just ruins the match in my opinion a little bit for me. I don't like it. I really don't like it. And I think you could say, Randy obviously doesn't like John Cena. He likes Cody Rhodes, makes sense. Then he turns on Cody. Sets up that feud for the future. And then John, he gets the number one contendership at Backlash. I don't like it. I don't think it makes sense. And then now I'm going to talk about what is making this video so hard. Obviously, in my opinion, Randy Orton was going to beat Kevin Owens. That's just my opinion, what was going to happen. I think it was to set up Randy versus John Cena at Backlash, with Randy winning the number one contendership for the title. I think, in my opinion, he still wouldn't have to win if that's the case to go to Backlash. Or maybe they say, screw it, Randy doesn't need a win. He's such in a high kind of thing where winning is not really a big deal to him. I think winning is still important to kind of build that momentum, but if he loses, he could really build some momentum for somebody else in the company, which I think is as big, because Randy Orton is as big as he can be. I mean, let's be honest here. If Randy would lose the match to whoever at WrestleMania and then win the number one contendership for Backlash, I would not be disappointed. I would not be mad. I just got to be honest with you. I just think more than likely, in my opinion, some people are going to get mad if he loses. So now we're going to talk about people that he can go against, but it's hard to say because you don't want them to get pinned, and you kind of want Randy Orton to have a good match against somebody and boost somebody maybe. Let's talk about NXT talent. Could it be Obafemi? I think a likely scenario is Randy Orton having an open challenge with Nick Aldis saying, I found your opponent. Could we get Obafemi kind of coming up, still having the NXT title maybe? Maybe he's fresh off of a loss to Javon Evans, I stand deliver. I don't know. I really don't know. I just have to believe that Obafemi is coming up to WWE sometime soon, or coming up, whatever, in the near future. But I think he waits one more year. Truthfully, I think it's one more year till he comes up and gets called up. So that's where I'm at with Obafemi. But you don't want Obafemi with the title to get pinned by Randy, so you kind of would need him to beat Randy Orton, which that's a little crazy in my opinion. I have Ricky Saints here. He is so close to main roster, but again, does he lose the title at Stand and Deliver, then come main roster and go against Randy Orton, and this is his introduction here? I think it's more of staying on NXT for a year, and he's going to keep this title. That's what I think. Maybe it's Ethan Page. I don't have Ethan Page going against Randy Orton, but maybe Ethan Page goes against him. I don't think that would be more insane. I think they don't do that route. But again, it's NXT talent. You don't want him to be pinned with a championship, and you don't want Randy to lose. So I go to maybe people that don't have a championship. Trick Williams, I could really see potentially having a chance at jumping up to the main roster this year. Does he go against Randy Orton? I think it would be a huge, huge pop. And I think that's what you're going for. What can give us the biggest moment? And in Trick Williams, in my opinion, could be the biggest moment where Trick Williams gets called up right here. He goes in. He has a match against Randy Orton. You don't really want him to lose, but maybe you're okay with him taking a pin to Randy Orton of all people. And you still introduce people with him at WrestleMania. I think it would be a pretty cool match with Trick Williams, but then again, still a little bit scared about the potential with that. Now let's talk about the returns. We have some returns here. I think for these next couple of returns I'm going to talk about, they to me don't make sense because I think you want a high on high on high when they return. And this is coming back from an injury. Doesn't make sense for them to return at WrestleMania, go against Randy Orton, and lose? I don't think so. They would have to win. So again, it's the whole winning scenario. So Ilya Dragunov, if he comes back, goes against Randy Orton, and beats Randy Orton, my God, you're setting him up for so much success. I think his sound, I think people would go crazy because a lot of the inner wrestling fans, the diehard wrestling fans, love Ilya Dragunov. He's somebody coming back from injury. He'll be huge. There's going to be a pop there, and he'll go against Randy Orton and hopefully beat Randy Orton. But we'll have to see on that. And the same thing with Bronson Reed. Does he come back with the injury? I don't know if he's actually even healthy enough to. But I have to say, Bronson Reed is somebody that should have a big, big push when he comes back. Does he go against Randy Orton and absolutely destroy Randy Orton and maybe beat him? We'll have to see. Does he lose right away? I don't think that's the case as well. That's the whole dilemma here, is that he can't really lose, so it's hard to choose Bronson Reed for this, but I think they have plans for him after WrestleMania. It's just, if this is a way, if you really, and I don't think it'll be that big of a pop because Bronson Reed's great, but I don't think he's going to get a great crowd reaction. Maybe same with Ilya. Trick Williams, I think, would. Up next, we have Joe Hendry. I think if there's a chance that they could get the TNA champion, which hopefully somehow, someway he loses by WrestleMania, that's not going to happen. I think he's going against Ethan Page here soon for the TNA championship, if I'm not mistaken, while Ethan Page is also getting booked to go against Ricky Saints. So many question marks. In my opinion, Joe Hendry could be, if you just want a match against somebody, could be the biggest pop you get at WrestleMania if you do Joe Hendry versus Randy Orton. And honestly, Joe Hendry is probably fine with losing. If he doesn't have the championship, I think it's 100% okay for him to lose. I don't think it's crazy for him to be put down, put up here as somebody that is going to win automatically. I don't think it really matters if he gets pinned. I just have to say that Joe Hendry, truthfully, even if he has a championship, I truthfully believe, could be pinned because Joe Hendry is on TNA. And this is probably for TNA a huge, crazy return because of how many eyes are going to be on Joe Hendry and that potential championship. This, in my opinion, is probably one of the better options. I just don't think they're going to do it. Up next, we have Sami Zayn. I don't think it makes any sense for Sami Zayn to go against Randy Orton. There's nothing storyline-wise. It's really just to have Sami on the card. I don't really like it. I think more than likely it makes more sense to have him just not be in WrestleMania card and then you have him return for maybe Raw after Mania. I'm not really down for this one. And I don't think makes sense for him to go after Randy because Kevin Owens just got injured. But maybe there's a chance that that's the open challenge mystery opponent. Karrion Kross is another one that I think if there is a chance that you just want to showcase somebody, he's not going to be a huge love for people. I don't think people are going to be happy about this one. And let me say this too, and this is kind of, I wish I said this at the beginning. I think they could do a storyline where Randy does lose and it's the voices in his head that's making him lose because he's not trying to punt somebody. He's not trying to be crazy because he knows that if he does, he's letting his old self win. So he's holding back. And maybe a new talent does beat him or somebody else that's whatever does beat him to excel them. Yeah, part of me really wants to say that Karrion Kross, I don't think they're going to put on the card at all because I don't think a Karrion Kross Randy Orton match is as great as you would hope. And then now we're going to talk about the debut/re-debuts of a lot of people. Rey Fenix is somebody that I just don't know how he's going to have a match at WrestleMania. Is it going to be on somebody on SmackDown like Andrade, Santos Escobar? Is he going to try and do something with Penta? I don't think any of that. So maybe an open challenge and it's Rey Fenix to go against Randy Orton. Now, obviously, you would probably want Rey Fenix to pick up the win here, but does it happen? And I keep going back and forth. I don't think Rey Fenix will get a chance at that. So Rey Fenix, probably not. Up next is Rusev. Miro. I gotta be honest. Say Miro. I gotta be honest. Rusev is the one I keep coming back to. I think him and two other people, which if I'm not mistaken, are my last two that I'm going to talk about, are the three that I just think in my head, okay, if you want the big pop, you want somebody to go crazy, but you're really hoping they win against Randy, this could be it. Rusev was crazy hot in WWE, and there's even, Randy laughing at him with his girl. There's something there. There's something there. And I really do believe Rusev could be what they do because of how over he was with the fans. So hearing his music, just nostalgia, could be really great at WrestleMania. But I don't know what they could do with him moving forward. And that's what I keep going back to. And I'm thinking, does this happen? I don't know. Aleister Black is the one that I think makes a lot of sense with them already kind of hinting at a debut, which is supposedly going to be on the SmackDown after WrestleMania that he'll debut. I think he should go after the mid-card titles and really focus on them. But do they just not? Do they just not debut him here? Because truthfully, there's already stuff in place. If he's already going to go on SmackDown, you could really push him with Randy. You don't want him to get pinned by Randy, though. And that's what I keep going back to. So maybe Randy sucks it up and takes the pin from Aleister Black. And you really build Aleister Black as a potential threat in the whole division. And Aleister Black moves in, goes crazy. The pop would be insane. You really have him versus Randy Orton. Now, I think my last one, if I'm not mistaken, I have one more. I think, yes, they did a RKO on him, but I don't think it's going to lead anywhere. I only have him here to talk about it, and that's Nick Aldis. I think Nick Aldis is done with wrestling. I really do. But a part of me also believes that if they don't know what to do at all with an opponent, and they need somebody to be in a match, which Nick Aldis would have 2 weeks of training, which was crazy to say, Nick Aldis could be the one to have this match. Even if it's a quick match, I could see a way, and I think it would be the coolest to do it, where they do, Randy, it's time for your open challenge. And he says, and your opponent is, and he's pointing, and then his theme hits, and he just looks back, and he takes off everything, and he's in his gear and goes crazy. That would be a really cool moment, but a part of me just has to say in my mind that Nick Aldis is done with wrestling. And if that is the case, We're not going to see this. And it's just simple as that. We're not going to see this. I think my most likelies to least likelies is probably most. Let me go my top 5. I think number 1, Aleister Black. Number 2, Nick Aldis. Even though I can't believe I'm saying this. Number 3, Rusev. 4, Joe Hendry. 5, WrestleMania. He's not on the WrestleMania card. That's probably where I'm at. I really want it to be, this is me just personally, what I would want. I really want it to be Joe Hendry. I really want it to be an NXT talent. And I want the NXT talent to win. Joe Hendry, it's whatever. I know there's Sheamus question marks on him. I don't think it would make any sense to have them to go against each other. Not a lot of people would be so hyped for Sheamus. It just has to be something, and I hope it's an open challenge and not an announcement before. But we will see. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.